but can you kind of break down like trusts and wills?
Yeah, absolutely. So they're both distribution documents, but they function differently. A will comes into play after you die, right? So once you pass away, your will comes into play and it says, this is where I want my stuff to go. But who gets it there? If you own real estate or you have bank accounts that are titled in your name, who changes title to those assets, right? After you pass away, your powers of attorney terminate. So nobody's legally authorized to do that. The only entity that can do it is the court. And so even though you have a will, the court is the entity that transfers your home to the name of the beneficiary that you've designated, right? That requires them to intervene. Whereas a trust is a legal structure. I mean, I kind of think of it like the business of you, right? Where
Okay.
you're the CEO of your own business, or you're the trustor and the trustee. You're also the beneficiary while you're alive. And this is really talking about living revocable trusts. Um, you get to create that structure. You, while you are alive, retitle your assets into the name of that trust so that when you die, you have already given legal access to your successor trustee to step up and take over, which means you don't have to go to court at all to get them to transfer title. You've already created that structure while you were alive. And so it becomes this private transfer process that can get very detailed and complex, but you can plan for 2 generations beyond yourself and provide some creditor protection and some divorce protection and some restrictions and incentives on what happens with the assets that you pass down, that you can really create strong financial foundations for the people who come after you. And that's what we haven't done very well, right? We have not created the vehicles that continue to exist. 70% of us don't have any estate planning at all. So we're not even avoiding court, let alone providing financial foundations. And I know I mentioned it in the beginning, the road to 2053 says that the median net worth for Black families is going to hit 0.
Yeah.
But we really have about 15 years to get the baby boomer population effectively covered by estate planning to make sure that what they've been able to amass, regardless of how much it is able to transfer to us in our generation well, because they hold the majority of the wealth. They've seen the largest growth on their assets. They've been able to buy into homes that they've now either been able to pay off or have received, huge amounts of booms in equity. Our generation holds the majority of the debt. So if we don't inherit appropriately from the previous generations, regardless of how much it is, we cannot then buy back what we just lost. And so, we sound the alarm all the time in Clubhouse and everywhere else, right? In the webinars we do everywhere else, to say we have to take action right now today. So I actually really appreciate you having me on this platform to be able to talk about this, because it's important.